Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here and this is the final book haul of the year. These are books that I picked up or was sent or was very kindly gifted for Christmas. Let's get stuck in. There's quite a few as usual at the moment. The first one was sent to me in a really cool package. I opened it up and inside there was a mirror with a lipstick hashtag written on it in this beautiful red lipstick, which was also in the package, as well as some chocolates. And the book is The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. This sounds like it's going to be an interesting one. This book comes out in February and the back says, when you read this book you will make many assumptions. It's about a jealous wife obsessed with her replacement. It's about a younger woman set to marry the man she loves. The first wife seems like a disaster. Her replacement is the perfect woman. You will assume you know the motives, the history, the anatomy of the relationships. You will be wrong. This is a novel about the dangerous truths we ignore in the name of love. I think this is going to be a thriller and I'm really looking forward to it. Next is a book I picked up for myself and it's called The Sisters of Glass Ferry by Kim Michelle Richardson. I really liked the sound of this. I think I heard about it on someone else's channel and again I can't remember which one, but it's a beautiful cover and it's got deckled edges which I really enjoy. This is spanning many decades. It's set in the South on a whiskey, sort of whiskey plantation. I don't know if it's called a plantation or a whiskey distillery, and the family sort of business. It's about two sisters. One disappears on her prom night with her boyfriend and we follow what's happened to them, and I've heard it's brilliant and so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. The next came as well as a sent to me by the publisher. It's called The Astonishing Colour of After by Emily X.R. Pan. It's beautiful cover. It's quite a big book and I think it is YA. It comes out on the 22nd of March and it says on the blurb, Leigh Chen Sanders is 16 when her mother dies by suicide, leaving only a scribbled note. I want you to remember. Leigh doesn't know what it means, but when a red bird appears with a message, she finds herself travelling to Taiwan to meet her maternal grandparents for the first time. Leigh is far away from home, or maybe it's Lee. Lee is far away from home and far away from Axel, her best friend, who she stupidly kissed on the night that her mother died, leaving her with a swell of grief that she wasn't home and a heavy heart thinking she might have destroyed the one good thing left in her life. Overwhelmed by grief and the burden of fulfilling her mother's last wish, Lee retreats into her art and into her memories where colours collide and the rules of reality are broken. The only thing Lee is certain about is that she must find out the truth. She must remember. So I think that's going to be really interesting and I'm looking forward to it. My lovely sister-in-law bought my daughter a book which I'm going to steal and read as well, and that is Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls. This is a book that has been all over BookTube and is a book that is short stories about real female women who have done amazing things. Cleopatra, Astrid Lindgren, various different women. 60 it says on the back. There's a painter, a writer, archaeologist, a women's rights activist, warrior, empress, and I think this is going to be a great feminist read and one that Matilda's going to really enjoy as she gets older. I was very kindly gifted by my father-in-law some books, the first of which I'm really pleased to have on my shelf, and that is The Book of Dust by Philip Pullman. This is the book that sort of comes after the Northern Lights trilogy and is one that I'm really looking forward to reading after I've reread those three books. Next I picked up for myself The Chaos of Standing Still by Jessica Brody. This is the story of a girl trapped in Denver airport at Christmas time or on New Year's, and she has one unread text message that's been on her phone for a year or two, which is the last message her best friend sent her before she died. She has never read it, and then accidentally she ends up swapping phones with a boy that's in the airport. I don't know how it happens, but we will find out. And this then stems a sort of a night of adventure and I suppose discovery, and yeah, I'm supposing that she'll probably read this text by the end and we'll find out a bit more about the story and why she's nervous to open it. This is one that I'm definitely going to be reading and trying to read by the end of the year. Maybe when I pick up on the sort of end of the month to round it off, seeing as it is set at New Year's. I've wanted to read this one for ages and I was very kindly sent it. I think this one came from Janet from Swirly Girly Reads, so thank you so much to her, and that is The Clan of the Cave Bear by Jean M. Auel. Caitlin recently read these and said what a great series it is and how she thinks I'd really enjoy it. It's a YA fantasy, and it says that Alea's 5 years old and she's left without a family after an earthquake, and then she's adopted by this group of Neanderthal, and I suppose we're going to be finding out about that, and I think there's a few in this series and it looks really good. My father-in-law also got me The Genius Plague by David Walton, which I think sounds really interesting. I'm not sure what category you'd put this into, but it's about someone that goes off, a man goes off to his dream job as a code breaker in the NSA. His brother goes missing on a trip to collect samples in the Amazon. When he turns up, he has these gaps in his memory and this fungal infection that nearly kills him, but when he gets back to health, he has enhanced communication, memory and pattern recognition. And then it says that somewhere, meanwhile, something is happening in South America. Others like this man have fallen ill and recovering with abilities they didn't have before. So it's probably going to be a bit of a sort of adventure story, I think. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. And then I was very kindly, again, I think by Janet, sent The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I believe this is about two work colleagues that really don't like each other and is a really nice romance. So I kind of like those ones where people really dislike each other and then end up falling in love. So I'm hoping this will be a really nice light read. And then I was very kindly, and I think this is by my father-in-law's fiance, but I'm not 100% sure because it's been a while, and I think this was from her. She picked The Rattled Bones by S.M. Parker. This cover is really beautiful. I think this is going to be a bit of a creepy story. I think it's the story of a young woman whose father dies, and when her father dies she becomes haunted by this young woman, and then she meets a man who is an archaeology student or who is digging on this particular island, and he uncovers some things, and there's a sort of backstory to this island and like a mystery of its history that no one talks about. It sounds a bit eerie and haunting, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, and let's just hope I don't get too scared. Me and Matilda went to see the Christmas Oris live over Christmas. It was amazing. Amazing, and I've already read the book last year when it came out, which I loved. The stage show and the songs were amazing. We are obsessed. So I have now bought a second copy of the book because I wanted the soundtrack, and that was the only way to get it. So I now have 2 editions of this plus the soundtrack, which Matilda has stolen. And I also decided that I loved it so much that I would try out Tom Fletcher's newest book called The Creakers. I hadn't picked it up before because I thought maybe it was going to be a bit scary, but I think I should be okay with it, and it looks like a bit of an adventure story. If it's anything like the Christmas Oris in its magical and you know, magical feelings, I'm going to really enjoy it. So I picked that one up. And then the final book that I was sent for review is The Bells by Donielle Clayton. This is a really pretty cover. This is a story set in New Orleans, which really tickles my fancy. It says, in New Orleans, people are born grey and damned, and only a belle's powers can make them beautiful. Camellia Beauregard wants to be the favourite belle, the one chosen to be the queen, to live in the royal palace and be recognised as the most talented belle in the land. But once Camellia and her belle sisters arrive at court, it becomes clear that the favourite is not everything she always dreamed it would be. Behind the gilded palace walls live dark secrets, and Camellia soon learns that her powers may be far greater and far darker than she ever imagined. When the queen asks Camellia to save an ailing princess by using her powers in unintended ways, she faces an impossible decision: protect herself and the way of the bells, or risk her own life and change the world forever. This sounds really good, and it's due for release in February, so keep your eyes peeled for this one, and I will be reviewing it nearer the time. So that's all the books I bought. I'm getting ready for Bookopoly. I feel ready now. I feel like I've, you know, bought enough books, as always, and I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into these. So let me know if you've read any of these, if any of these were sort of 5-star reads for you, and which ones you are looking forward to finding out more about. That's it from me, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.